Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm speaking about Scorpio moon through the 12 astrological houses of life. If you haven't watched my previous video, which is basically just a Scorpio moon video, please check that out before or after you watch this video. I just want to sit down. Child, I've been standing for so long. Okay, so Scorpio moon through the 12 houses, right? In my previous video, I just kind of touched on what Scorpio moon is. I described that, like, Scorpio moon people probably have a really tough childhood, and if they don't, they probably had very passionate parents or, like, very loyal parents, you know, but there's always some kind of element of, like, intensity in the Scorpio moon Scorpio moon's life, you know, and I just explained that Scorpio moon people know how to, like, make themselves, like, how to create a home for themselves, you know. They always somehow have, like, a secluded, they always have their own space somehow, and if you invade that space, you're probably gonna get stung, child. You're gonna get stung, child. So I don't fuck with the Scorpio moon space. And basically, just, like, if you're not a Scorpio moon and you're watching this, like, and you want to know a little bit more about Scorpio moon, just know to give them space when they need it. Because I feel like a Scorpio moon will show you with their eyes that, yo, get the fuck away from me. If they won't tell you, they'll, like, show it to you with their eyes, and you're gonna feel that, because you're gonna just feel a whole bunch of Mars and 8th house and Pluto intensity coming at your way, and it's gonna fucking pierce you through your heart and just leave you feeling like, oh man, I need to fix my life. Scorpio moon people will make you feel that. So Scorpio energy period will make you feel like you need to get your shit together. Anyway, but yeah, Scorpio moon through the first house. Let's go to the first house. So already the first house doesn't do so well in the moon, because the first house is your personality, your personal issues, things that you're personally interested in, and things that you're personally doing and invested in, right? So already this taps you into, like, being a personal person, right? And if it's in the moon and the moon is receptive, then you receive everything as personal. So you take everything very personally. And with Scorpio being in here, so this could either be you being a Scorpio rising and a Scorpio moon. And I used to have a friend who was a Scorpio rising and a Scorpio moon. So this kind of already... So personally, if you have a Scorpio moon, you already appear to be very intense and appear to be very, intimidating, very dark-ish, you know, somewhat very, like, self-contained and, like, very controlled, but very alluring too, you know. This is, like, your first house. If you have a Scorpio rising, you're very intense, very alluring, very disciplined. You may have very disciplined demeanor, very intense eyes, very sharp eyes, very, like, you may look like you have, what's this makeup we use? Eyeliner. You may look like you have black sorry, I forgot about it, but you may look like you have black eyeliner under these eyelids, you know, even these ones too. Child, you know what I'm saying? This is your first house, basically. And if it's in... So you either may be a Libra rising or Scorpio rising with this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, either may be one of those. But you may have really dark fucking under eyelids with that shit, you know? But if you have your fucking Scorpio moon in the first house, bro, you take shit so personally, and you make it so deep, and this is what makes you so dramatic, and you start taking things so personally, and you also start thinking, oh my god, people are only doing this because of me, or they're trying to betray me, they're not loyal. Oh my god, you're not loyal. How dare you not be loyal? Do you know who you're fucking with? You're fucking with a Scorpio moon, man. You know? It could be that type of... It's actually that type of thing. Because, like I said, I had a friend who was a Scorpio rising and a Scorpio moon sign. And, like, when I tell you guys, I was mad at... So, there were, like, 3 of us, right? I was sleeping over at my friend's house. And it was him, and it was another person, and then it was me. And I was mad at the other person, right? But because he's a Scorpio he has a Scorpio moon and rising. He could feel that I was angry. So he thought I was angry at him. And it just made me, like, I was, like, annoyed that he thought everything was about him. So, like, this also taps you into Leo energy, too, you know? Where you think, like, you literally, like, you think the world literally revolves around you. Like, everything anybody does is around you. So this also makes you a person, like, when you go out in public, you start thinking people are looking at you. You start thinking people are, like, talking about you. And then this makes you more paranoid because then you take, like I say, you take shit personally, you know? So I feel like this would also make you someone that doesn't like to go out. And then again, if you are an air moon person, you probably do. But you probably also the person, like, you're probably a type of person where you're very selective of what you say to people, you know? And if people oppose you and your own views and ideas, you take that shit personally. And then this could also, if you're on the negative side of, like, the Scorpio energy, or, I don't know, on the more paranoid side of the Scorpio energy, then you start, like, plotting on people. You know, and then you start, like, saying little things to people to make them feel like they're stupid or something, you know, just because you took shit personally. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, on one, I get it, like, you can't help it, but Jesus Christ, what? Sure? Like, you just really be taking shit like, see, I feel like with maybe the Aries energy, like, if you have an Aries, rising and moon, you'll just be annoying with the shit. But see, Scorpio is something different. Scorpio energy is, like, very it's very intense, guys. It's so extreme. And it can get, like I said, it can get, like, to a point where you start thinking that the whole world hates you. And then you start thinking that even the people around you, like your friends and your family, are, like, plotting some shit against you. And then you take that shit personally. And then you start, like, lashing out on people. And that lashing out is very scary for some people. Because, like, they don't know what the fuck is going to happen. They don't know how far you're going to go there. Like, because the Scorpio energy can get very volatile and very violent. Volatile. I don't think I used that word right, but you can get very violent, you know, but very abrasive also, like, just not giving a fuck about what comes out of your mouth, you know. You just, like, you just say it, you just say it the way it is in your head with all that fucking emotional intensity too, you know. So that's one side of it. You take everything personally, but on the one hand, I feel like it's also, like, you can't really hide how you feel. So all your personal issues and your emotions are just, like, out there for display, you know? And even though sometimes you can be very good with hiding it, like I said, that poker face is on cue, child. It's on point, you know? But for the most part, like, maybe with the people that are closest to you, it's like you can't really hide. But not even that, like, see, here's the thing. You may not really you may not willingly expose yourself, but because you have Leo, if you are a Scorpio rising, right? Because you have Leo in your 10th house, right? It's expressive, so it's showing, right? Now, with Scorpio being in your first house and your Scorpio moon being in there, and your first house is basically your appearance and how you appear to be generally, right? So I feel like this is, and like I said, with your moon being here, it's a lot easier, maybe not to see it, but to feel how you really feel. Like, people can, especially if it's a water sign or even a fire sign, like, it's usually very obvious with where you are, like, how you feel. So this also makes you a lot more, it could make you a lot more aggressive, just because you feel like, well, I'm so exposed, like, I can't hide myself and I can't hide my emotions, so I need to be a dick so people only see this side of me, you know, kind of like a Cancer would. So you're like, oh, I need to be an asshole so people only think I'm an asshole and they don't really see me for being a softie, you know what I'm saying, that type of thing. But I feel like once you get older, you kind of just learn to accept this and be like, yo, okay, this is how I feel. If you know how I feel, that's good for you, you know. So I also feel like you need to, like, learn how to take power and control over the things that you have no control. Okay, not take power and control, but just kind of know that you can't control what people see from you, you know. Because I feel like you also might want to control how people see you, especially when they get, like, a lot closer to you or become your friends or your acquaintance. So you might want them to, like, you might only show a specific specific things that you want them to chew off of, you know? That thing. But for the most part, I think it's very difficult for you to hide your emotions just because it's usually always written. It's always like on your face, that type of thing, you know? And then if you have your Scorpio moon in the second house, so the second house is opposing to the Scorpio energy because Scorpio energy is home in the 8th house, and the 8th house and the second house are opposites because Taurus is home in the second house, right? So the good part about this is that the moon is exalted in the second house, but it falls because of Scorpio in here, right? So it's like you're exalted in some bullshit. You're exalted in some bullshit, you know? So on one end, Scorpio energy is very confident, period. You know, it's very, 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 very confident. It's very, like, assuring, you know, because they can control how they feel about themselves, right? And with the moon being in the second house, yeah, right? Second house being, like, things that you value, things that you possess, things that you hold dear to you, you know? So you might you value your intensity, you value passion, you may value chaos, you may value a lot of like just chaotic situations, uncomfortable situations. You value those kind of situations. You value and you feel like like the way you view your emotions is like, these are my emotions, and if I give them to you, you better not you don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up. Don't. That type of thing, you know? So you see your emotions as like these are mine. So you, on one end, you probably keep these emotions very sacred, you know, like very, very sacred. You keep your inner world very sacred. You keep your inner world very protected and hidden, you know, and you value that type of shit. Like, you value the fact that you're like a very intense person. You value your intense emotions. You value, you may value your childhood. You may value those experiences that you've gone through because it may have taken you to a place where you're like, oh my God, like, I'm a very strong person and I've been through so much, but here I am and I'm like, you know, I'm doing it. I'm the girl. I'm the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been through so much and here I am fucking standing with the house that I bought or a car that I have or this thing that I executed or whatever. You know, you value your trials and tribulations because, like, innately you understand that they've made you a strong person. But to another negative end is that because the Scorpio energy is very prone to paranoia, or like prone to being paranoid and then calling it instinct and calling it, not to say that sometimes you're not right, because like I said in my other video, sometimes you are right and sometimes you are very instinctual, if that's a word. But because you are prone to paranoia and shit, you may value the fact that, like, you may value your own illusions, you know what I'm saying? You may value your own, like, you know, sometimes, like, you may have, like, someone might say something, and then you start thinking they meant it in another way, and then you start chewing off of that and your mind starts racing off of what you think they meant. You may value that kind of, those processes, you know. So on one end, you may value, like, the fact that you're a paranoid person, but on another end, you may value the fact that you're very, like, instinctual, you know, you're very intuitive too. So you may value that type of shit. You also may because Scorpio is also very honest, so you may value honesty, you may value other people that are honest and other people that share similarities that you do, you know. But see, here's the thing with Scorpios, that Scorpios also kind of like Virgos, where they demand somewhat of this idealistic perfection from people, you know, because they may sit at the back and be like, ew, not knowing that they themselves are imperfect and have flaws and shit, you know. So you also may value people that are like that. You may value people that, like, deem themselves as, like, damn, you're perfect, you know. Because you also may think you're perfect, and you probably really feel that in your heart. Like, you're very confident with this shit. Like, you're very, very confident. And you may have people that hate you, because Scorpio energy, like, people hate you generally. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have this intensity that makes people feel intimidated by you. So that could also trickle down as to people thinking, oh wow, you think you're better than people, you think you're better than everybody, you think you're the shit, you think you fucking rule this whole world, you know? And with your moon being in the second house, you probably, whether or not you feel that way, you just radiate that energy, baby, you know, that type of thing. And then if you have your Scorpio moon in the third house, right? So the third house is the house of your siblings, friends, you know, your homies, your neighborhood, things that you're familiar with, you know. So just think you're familiar with your clothes, you're familiar with your room, you're familiar with your neighborhood, you're familiar with your friends, you're familiar with your school, you're familiar with words, you're familiar with talking, you just, you know, things that you're familiar with. Just think of anything you're familiar with, faces, people, names, just shit like that, you know. If you have Scorpio moon in your third house, right? So you probably very intense with your friends, or you probably have intense friends, or you love and you like not love and appreciate, but you are more comfortable with friends that are like a lot more intense or a lot more aggressive, you know. So I feel like you also may attract friends that like that, or your siblings may have been like that, you know, or the neighborhood that you grew around is probably very intense and aggressive, and there's a lot of like killing and shooting. But you also maybe feel comfortable with that, you know. You may be the Scorpio moon person that doesn't want to leave the place that like has that kind of shit, or you also really like you feel comfortable with friends that are like very intense and very aggressive, because you also may be very like this is the house of Gemini. So in Gemini is communication, right? So you may have a lot of fast talking friends that are always like kind of talking shit, you know, all the time, you know, that type of thing. Or you may have really passionate friends that are always like very passionate about the shit that they're into, books that they're into, movies they're into. Or you may be very passionate about talking about shit that you're into, you know. Yeah, and I feel like most of the time, if you are into poetry, which is very likely with this, like you may be a good drawer with this, because I have a friend who's a Scorpio moon and Mercury, but her moon is in the second house and her Mercury is in the third house. Yeah, she's a Virgo rising with a moon in the second house and her fucking Mercury in the third house, and she's very good at drawing. Actually, I have one of her drawings. Let me show you. This is her. Her name is Marigold. I don't know if you can see this shit. Oh, this is her. Marigold. I'm gonna tag her below. Hopefully, if she watches this, girl, wow, this is a young promo. I hope you're not mad at this. If you are, I don't. Anyway, this is her. Marigold. She fucking draws this. She draws these. How amazing is this? This is so fucking cool. See, here's the thing. So it could tap you into, you have like a very, you could be a drawer with this, and the shit that you draw can be somewhat very dark, you know, very dark, esoteric, occult type of shit. Or you could be a writer, and like you could be into horror movies, and you could like write scripts for horror movies, or like thriller movies. Or you may enjoy like reading horror books or like watching horror movies with this. But this is generally just a Scorpio moon thing, because I know a lot of Scorpio moons are into horror movies, and if they're not, they probably just fear like that part of themselves. But eventually you realize that, oh my god, I have this darkness that I can't run away from. But how it expresses itself in the third house is like, it's either going to be dealing with communicating. So you may talk about a lot of dark shit, like, because this kind of taps you into having like a Scorpio Mercury, you know, because the third house and the sixth house are ruled by Mercury, and if you have Scorpio here, it kind of taps you, like you share energies with having that. So like the things that you already like, before someone even comes to you and talks to you, you're already thinking about the ulterior motives they have behind whatever conversation they're like initiating with you, you know. And it's very easy for you to pick up on like specific vibes, or how they said hello to you, or how they said this. You can very easily pick that up, so it's not like nothing leaves you, you know, that type of thing. So it's very easy for you to pick up on people's ulterior motives, you know. But like I said, you may be very deep and intense with your friends, or in your neighborhood, or with your siblings, or you may have very intense friends or siblings. And then yeah, that's that for Scorpio moon in the third house. And then even the fourth house, right? If you have a Scorpio moon in your fourth house, most likely you're a Leo rising, or you're Virgo, right? Yeah, Virgo rising, because you know you may have overlapping houses. But for the most part, you're probably a Leo rising. So if you have Scorpio in the 4th house, now the moon is home in the 4th house, right? Because of Cancer, Cancer is home in the 4th house, and it's also home in the moon, because of the domestic, comforting, nurturing, how I grew up, my mother type of thing, motherly energy, that type of thing. So if you have your Scorpio moon in the 4th house, right? Now, on one end, your mother may have been she may have genuinely been a nurturing mother. She gave you, when you were still young, you sucked on her nipple. It was good ass milk, she gave you good food. You had a good sheltered home that was very, you got your basic emotional needs, right? So, but here's the thing, because Scorpio is here, you may have had a dick of a father. I feel like for the most part with this placement, it's usually your father that was frustrating. Even though it could be your mother. Your mother may have been somewhat of a bipolar person, where one age was very happy and she gave you love and she gave you food and she did all these nice things, and then if she came home from a long day at work, or she was annoyed, or something didn't happen in her way, she just got crazy. She just got fucking crazy. She just threw shit. Or if she was the type of mother that if she was a single mother, she may have just resented men. Just really resented men. Or it could be you could grow up with your father. You just may have had a parent that was very resentful, or just showed you a resentful side to them, and then they just kind of scared you in that type of way, and then for the either that, or another side to it is that you grew up in a very chaotic situation, a chaotic house, even though you maybe had a gogo or your grandmother that you that showed you somewhat of a peaceful, consistent kind of energy, so you'd always go to her house. Or maybe there's you have your own room, and that's nobody comes to your room, or there's an outside room in your wherever you live. There's the main house, and then there's your own room, and nobody really comes there because they know that's your space, but you always have a secluded area in your home. There's always a space, there's always a space that you have inhabited that nobody fucks with. Nobody tries to come to that space, and you make sure that nobody comes to that space because you always give them that stare. Yeah, so it probably could be that. And then also for the most part, if you were an adopted child, or if you were I don't know, if something really happened to your parents that forced you to either be given to the government, or I don't know, something like that, then you usually knew how to take care of yourself even more and nurture yourself. So this is I feel this is a placement for self-nurture, you know how to take care of yourself, you know how to give yourself love, pamper yourself, make money for yourself, take yourself out on dates, make sure you look good, make sure you felt good, just make sure you were in a good space in your own life, and just make sure you were fine generally. You just knew how to nurture yourself, and you knew how to build within yourself emotionally. So you were very in tune with your own emotions, But this also kind of makes you very in tune with other people's emotions, and their own where they grew up, and their own upbringing, and you connect to that. So knowing how someone grew up, you kind of formulate the type of person they are now, and the things that they would react to. So on the negative side, you would know how to kind of shake someone up. But I think also in this, you also value family, and your family could be your friends, or your cousins or whatever. But you eventually learn how to you just know people just based on how they grew up, or just based on looking at their mom and their dad. It could be very scary for other people, but you just kind of know these things. And also, I feel you could also know what to tell someone. You could be the type of person that's oh my god, I just got fired from work, and just kind of make someone feel obligated to do something for you. Make someone feel they should do something to get to give you money or shit like that. That could be the thing. But for the most part, I think I feel with this, you probably did grow up very chaotic family members. Controlling family members. There's probably a lot of power control issues. Your mom wanted to control your dad wanted to control the rest of the family. They always told you what to do. They always gave you a curfew, and you were like, fuck that. You know, you may have been really rebellious with this also. Yeah, so that's that. And then if you have your Scorpio moon in the 5th house. So the 5th house is the house of entertainment, how you enjoy yourself, things that you're really into, things that you like to be, things that you like to indulge in, how you have fun, you know, things that you deem as fun. If you have your Scorpio moon in the 5th house here, this already makes you childlike, right? So I feel like it kind of puts you in a Scorpio sun sign, because I mean the 5th house does rule Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun. So I'm just like taking things off this chair. Leo is ruled by the sun, right? Yeah, so, and like the 5th house is basically how you express yourself. Sorry, I got distracted. Oh my god. So the 5th house is ruled by the sun, right? And if you have Scorpio here, so you pretty much like to express, and like how you have fun is expressing that intensity to people, you know, even though it may be very childlike, but that childlike energy can also see, because like no matter where you have Scorpio, it's just gonna exude like an intensity, and because Venus isn't here, it's gonna be very distasteful, you know. So you also may really love and appreciate those kind of vibes, you know. You love and appreciate secrecy. You love and appreciate fucking a lot. You may fuck a lot. You may really like fucking with this placement, like, and you may like secretly fuck. So this also puts you in a thing of like, you may like secretly fucking your friends boyfriends, or your friends, you know, whoever your friends are dating. You may secretly love those things. You may like love to, like, you just love being a sneaky person or a secretive person, and you find this very enjoyable, you know, like doing shit you're not supposed to. You may love and enjoy stealing. You may love and enjoy like horror movies, you know, like watching like gory horror, American Horror Story, gory, eerie kind of shit like that. And you may enjoy like listening to hateful kind of speeches, you know, like you enjoy fight, like you enjoy watching people fight, and you may enjoy fighting also. Like you may really thoroughly enjoy starting a fight, and like enjoy seeing someone cry. It can get so dark, because like you enjoy dark shit, you know, and it may come off like, to you it's very playful, because this is really the world you play, like this is the world you live in. And I feel like 9 times out of 10 you're Cancer rising with this. But yeah, you just enjoy, like, you enjoy doing some dark shit, you know. You may enjoy masturbating a lot. You may have like 1,000 dildos, or like a whole bunch of sex people, or just one person that you like fucking a lot, you know. But for the most part, you also may be a daredevil with this shit, you know, just doing some life-threatening kind of shit, you know. This is really fun to you, you know. Oh, for the most part, just because like Scorpio's also super chill sometimes. You may just like chilling at home, but at home you like causing shit, you know. And it may not, because you're putting the 8th house along with the 5th house, you know. So like you really love when people tell you secrets, and you love when people show you their passion, you know, because you have tons of passion, and you have tons of way of expressing that passion in a very childlike way, you know. You also maybe like you enjoy having money too, because stability is everything. It's everything, you know. Stability is literally everything for you as a Scorpio moon person in the 5th house, you know, because if you have stability, then you have more time to have fun and cater to that 5th house energy. Yeah, but yeah, you may just enjoy a lot of dark shit, you know. You just enjoy like, I feel like if you're a bully with this, like you really enjoy bullying people. You just enjoy like tapping into people's psychological natures. But on the cool side, you may be into psychology, and you may be really into like trying to figure out the psychological makeups of people, and why they do the shit that they do, like what makes them tick, why it makes them tick, you know. You just enjoy digging deep. You enjoy, like, it's really fun to you to like investigate, you know, and figure out the root cause or the root thing of things, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. And then with a Scorpio moon in your 6th house, right, So here's the thing. So sixth house rules Virgo, and the sixth house is basically your health, things that you. So if you just really think about, see, the sixth house is really cool, and I want to make a video about the sixth house generally, because the sixth house is really just it's dealing with your health, because the things that you do on a daily basis do affect your health, whether it's like watching TV, smoking, drinking, eating, anything that you do on a daily basis is gonna affect your health, right? So this is everything I'm saying right now is really about the sixth house. So even things like I said, things you do on a daily basis, like your habits, you know, if you have a habit of waking up at noon every day and you're lazy, it's going to affect you somehow psychologically, you know, because the sextile sign of the sixth house is the eighth house, which is your psychological being, which I didn't mention, but I'm mentioning, you know, so like all your habits and things that you do on a routine, you know, like if you smoke every day, it's going to affect your health. If you drink water every day, it's going to affect your health. If you're a vegan, it's going to affect your health. If you eat meat, it's going to affect your health. If you run every day, it's going to affect your health. If you cut yourself, it's going to affect your health. You know what I'm saying? Just shit that you do. I'm making this dark, but just generally everything that you do every day is going to affect you somehow. And that's what the sixth house is about, right? And then if we put the eighth house, if we put Scorpio in the sixth house, right? Shit that you do, you like to, I feel like you're very, okay, first of all, because Scorpio is transformative, your health probably transforms a lot. You may have gotten hurt a lot of time, like physically. You may have broken a lot of bones. You may have a lot of indigestion problems that you may have had to go to the hospital because your stomach was just fucking you up. You know what I'm saying? So this also forced you to take power and control over your health with the Scorpio in your eighth house. So you may be someone that likes to you the way you gain control over your health is to work out every day. I think Willow Smith has this. She's a Gemini moon. She's a Gemini rising. So 7th house would be Sagittarius, and the 6th house would be Scorpio. And she's a Scorpio, okay, she's a Scorpio sun sign. But if we look at her now, she be doing yoga, she's exercising a lot, you know, she's gaining muscles and shit, and she's practicalizing that Scorpio intensity and making it practical, and we see this in her body, you know what I'm saying? But this is your moon sign, because this is your moon, so you feel it's a need for you to exercise. And I feel eventually you learn this. And I feel you're also probably someone that would change diets with this kind of placements. You know, become vegetarian or a vegan, whatever. And just take power and control over your diets, you know. Oh, excuse me. Because you know, the shit that you've been through as a child, you may have been also either very much sexualized as a child, because your body, because see, the sixth house is a physical house. It rules Virgo, and Virgo is practical and physical, you know. So you may have had you may have just exuded, you may have been sexualized as a child, you know. Even no matter what kind of body type you had, you just may have been sexualized as a child. So you grow up kind of either trying to hide your physical body, or you probably overdress, that type of shit. Or it could be a thing of you I don't know, some of the food that you ate you may have been allergic to a whole bunch of things, and then that caused you to change the different diets that you have, and then you were you just knew everything about shit that you shouldn't eat, you know, and you kind of take power and control of your own health in that way, where you no, this makes me feel this way, so let me rather not eat that, or let me be a vegetarian or a vegan or whatever. Oh, it could also be oh, there's a bug in my room. Not a roach, it's just a fucking bug. Anyway, I'll go with. What was I saying? Oh yeah. But yeah, for the most part, you may also just feel you need to work out, and then you may go you may go ham with working out with that Scorpio moon in the 6th house. But for the most part, also, you find it very important to have a job. You may like to be the boss at the job that you have. So you may want to be a manager, or you just don't like other people just telling you how or what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, how you should take care of your health, But yeah, like, I feel like you're very passionate about your health, and you're very, like, protective over your physical body, because it's very fragile in a way. So the way you want to express that toughness or express the Mars side of it is, like, I feel like also when you're angry, you may work out. This may be someone that, like, whenever you're reacting to something, you may clean a lot also. You may be an angry cleaner, and then that causes you to calm down, because it's like, okay, now I'm able to, like, practically like, this room is a mess, and this room represents how chaotic I am inside. So if I'm cleaning, then I'm psychologically cleaning myself up too, That could be the psychological makeup of a Scorpio moon in the 6th house person. But what makes you feel comfortable is working out, is, like, having a daily thing that you can always rely on. Like, I feel like with this, it makes you even more practical and, like, passionate about having a job, or, like, knowing that you have something to look forward to, that type of thing. And then if you have a Scorpio moon in the 7th house, which makes you a Taurus rising, you are probably somebody that you probably only, like, the one person that you dated, you just want to hold on to them. But see, that one person that you dated, or this could be you could be the person that someone dates, and you want to hold on to them, right? But you're toxic, or you may just attract a toxic person that's either very aggressive and very controlling. They want to control your life, because, by the way, I forgot to mention, 7th house is basically your relationship house, or, like, a relationship that you have with people, especially, like, one-on-one relationships, basically, like, just you and me, that type of thing, so yeah, the people, I feel like the people, like, whenever you are with one person alone, that may be the one time you start to, like, pick up, like, you like, automatically merge with people whenever you're just alone with them. And this may frustrate you, because you start, like, that energy is so intense, and you start, like, diving into other people's subconscious, So you start feeling, oh my God, it's almost like you can't really, it's like, I feel like this taps you into Pisces vibes, where you can't help it, but you just merge with people, like, you just, like, it just sucks you in, like, just being next to someone, you're already picking up on their moods, how they feel, all that shit, right? But with the 7th house being here, what makes you feel comfortable is being in relationships, and you may value very intense relationships, you may value relationships where it's, like, all or nothing, or you may be this type of person, but you usually attract these type of people that are, like, all or nothing, They also may be very, like, very controlling, very manipulative people that you date, and you may like this type of shit. You may like, you may like a romance with chaos, bad romance type of shit. Lady Gaga's a Scorpio moon. I wonder if she has a Scorpio moon in her 7th house. I think, no, she doesn't. She has a Pisces Mercury. I don't know what her rising is. I'll do it. But yeah, you may just, like, you love a bad romance. You love, like, the drama. You love the intensity. You love the extremes. You love the tit for tat type of shit, Like, you get me up, get you back. So you may really, like value and feel comfortable with relationships that are, like, super toxic or just not calm. You like a bit of, like, drama, because it's like, oh, later we can have makeup sex, or we can just, like, I don't know, we could, like, fix it, Yeah, so I feel like with this, you may also, like, you may want to date just one person, or that, like, you always hold on, you always cling on to that one relationship, if it's not the one that you're already in. Like, there's always that one relationship that just, like, outshadows every other relationship, and you're holding on to that relationship or that person, because that 9 times out of 10, that person may have been your first love. And if they weren't your first love, like, whoever that person was like your first true love, someone that really got you, that really get you. They were like your twin flame, or whatever you guys say. Yeah, so that's that. You just value and, like, feel comfortable with being in a relationship. So even if it's, like, it may not even be, like, romantic shit, but like even your friends, or just like the relationship you have with your siblings, like the one-on-one relationships you have with your mom, your dad, your siblings, or whatever. You may have like these may be very intense people, or you guys are always like, I don't know, you're connecting psychologically, you know, or these people that you attract, or the person that you are, you're just always like looking towards the psychological makeups of people, or you just like, you know, whenever you're connecting with people, you're always like, I don't know, just kind of wanting to understand them a lot more, but on an emotional level, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then if it's in the 8th house, oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Child. If you have your Scorpio moon in the 8th house, this adds a double emphasis in the Scorpio energy, right? Not only do you feel like, I feel like you don't see with this, I don't see you having friends at all. I really don't. If you have a Scorpio moon in the 8th house, I really don't see you having friends. You probably have a cousin that's your friend. You don't fuck with nobody. Like, no one. You don't like nobody. The world you live in, or you already probably think that the world is like out to get you, and you probably have like experienced examples of that, of like people betraying you, because that's the 8th house. Like, the negative side to the 8th house is people backstabbing you, betraying you, lying to you, cheating on you, you know, just doing shit behind your back, doing shit that you don't see, right? Now the positive side is like inheriting money and like having like will to get the fuck up and like go transform yourself. Like, you were lazy, you transform yourself to be a hardworking person, you know, that type of thing. That's one thing about it. But I feel like with this placement, you're not really like, you're not social, you're not a social person at all. You're very awkward with this placement. Once again, it does really depend on your sun sign. But I really, like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't see someone with a Scorpio moon in the 8th house having that many friends, having like being even social, like an Aquarius or a Gemini or even any of the fire signs. I don't see you guys being social. I don't see you guys like, and even if you are social, you're probably the person that's like at the door taking people's money. You're like having business kind of relationships with people, you know. It's not like on some friendship like, hey, how was your day, you know, that type of thing. You don't trust people with that, because to you it's like this conversation could lead anywhere, you know. And even if somebody does ask you that, I don't know, I feel like you have this way of like if somebody asks you a question and it kind of like it hits you like, oh shit, well, you just asked me a personal question. You know how to like throw something at them, like a mood at them, or like something just say something to make them like leave, or just like confuse them, and then either you walk away or they walk away like confused, or like with that heavy heart, that stung heart, because you be stinging people, you know. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, you probably will inherit a lot of shit from your mother. You know, your mom was probably one person that you're gonna inherit when she dies, or if she has died, you probably inherited money from her, you know, or your grandmother. But I feel like it's mostly gonna be on all the females in your life that you'll probably inherit the money from, not so much your father. I feel like that's a Scorpio sun sign type of thing, or Scorpio in the 8th house type of thing. But yeah, so that's that, you know. I feel like you're very private. You're very, very private. Can be very, 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 very manipulative with this, like, and be a good ass manipulator. Like, you know how to like, and not so much like Libra knowing how to sweet talk someone. You just know how to make someone. In fact, I feel like you even use Libra energy to manipulate people, because you know, like, your sextile sign is Capricorn, which is the sign of I use, and you know how to utilize people's emotions to get what you want, you know. And I feel like you study people, like, you're the type of person that studies people. Like, RuPaul said this. He said he's an introvert masquerading as an extrovert, so that type of thing. You could even be that type of person, you know, very, very private. You also rehearse the conversations you want to have with people, so that you only give them what you want them to know, you know. And it's usually about nothing. You don't really talk about, and if you are sharing an experience, it's probably something that you tell everybody, like you tell everyone that, you know. But yeah, I really don't see you being a social person. You're probably very awkward, like, you know. If you make eye contact with someone and you're going to the store, it's probably very intense, or either you pull away or someone feels like, whoa, whoa, who the fuck am I staring at? You know, that type of thing. Yeah. Yeah, I think that, like, with this energy, you're definite, like, there's no other, you are definitely, you exude it, you bleed it, you cry it, you pee it, you shit it, you eat it, you eat intensity, you just exude, like, you are intensity in the making. And God forbid you are like a Scorpio sun sign too, with that shit in the 8th house. Oh my god, you probably don't even have Instagram. You probably don't even have you don't have social media like that. You probably only have WhatsApp with 10 contacts on there, you know. And if you do have Instagram, it's usually to stalk people, because this is also the sign of the stalker. You know, shit, you're probably a very good investigator, and you're also very psychic, so you just already know, you peep game, like, you really peep when people are, like, manipulating you, you know, you really peep people's ulterior motives. But like I said, with that Scorpio energy, sometimes your paranoia can get the best of you, so you may think you know some shit, but it's really all made up in your head, you know. And then if you have your Scorpio moon in the 9th house, ciao. If you have Scorpio moon in the 9th house, so 9th house is the house of experiences, and most likely you are Pisces rising with this. 9th house is experiences, the wisdom, knowledge, shit like that. If you have Scorpio here, you probably have a whole bunch of experiences, like, that are very sexual. You may have been very much molested with this. You know, you may have been raped with this. You've experienced, like, some intense moments in your life. You've experienced, like, you may have been adopted with this shit, dude. And the people that you were adopted under may have been very abusive. You may have had your foster father who raped you and abused you, molested you, and just made you, like, as a young child too. And you may have grown up either liking this type of shit, or you may have just, you know, you just experience, like, you've just very much experienced in some crazy, crazy shit, you know. Like, you've experienced... Oh my god, you just experience, like, hefty shit. You just, like, you experience Scorpio type shit, you know. So you also may have been, I don't know, I feel like with this you may have been, like, you may also be into, like, BDSM, or, like, you know, whips and chains, candle wax, ice cubes, needles, golden showers, rainbow kisses. Just that shit, you know. You have a lot of experience with that, you know, and you keep those experiences hidden too, because either you may really like them, or it may be a desire for you to have these very, like, you may be someone that secretly likes sadomasochism, or sadistic shit, or masochistic shit, you know. You may like experiencing those type of situations, or you, I don't know, you gain a lot of wisdom from those experiences. But for the most part, because you, I don't know, because you, like I said, usually you would probably be a Pisces rising with this, you know. So you either someone that, like, already you're gonna be intuitive as fuck, you know, but you just have, like, this darkness about you that you like to experience. So you may like experiencing dark shit, you know. You may like to, like, I don't know, secretly rob people and then keep it hidden, you know. And you may have a lot of wisdom on how to be a secretive person. You could teach and educate someone how to be secretive, educate someone how to, like, be manipulative, teach and educate someone how to, you know, be behind closed doors and keep all your skeletons until you really, really, really trust somebody and they show you their skeleton, so that you guys could, like, have a esoteric spiritual bond, you know, that type of thing. Yeah. Yeah, but on the most part, I feel like you also like traveling a lot with this, you know. But usually your travels may have transformed you. Like, whenever you do travel, there's always, like, some transformative shit. Like, you get into an accident, or, I don't know, maybe, like, there's always that one person that's like, no, I want to fucking drive. And then they cause, like, a whole dramatic thing. Like, no, I want to drive. Or, no, we should go to Paris instead. No, fuck you guys, let's go to Paris. Or you may be this person, you know, you may be very stubborn in what you want to experience. But yeah, for the most part, like, all your experience, or you may secretly travel, you may not tell people where you're going, that type of thing. But for the most part, like, what makes you feel comfortable is traveling. But these travels may be very, on some secret shit. But see, Scorpio also can be healing too. Scorpio energy is very healing. So maybe it's like eventually, like, your these experiences kind of connect you to your maker, your higher being, or whatever you want to call that shit, God or whatever. And then that's how you grow spiritually, yeah. And then if you have Scorpio moon in the 10th house, so the 10th house, damn, this is a horrible placement. Okay, anyway, the 10th house is like your career, how you gain money stability, not like the 4th house where it's like we're gaining stability so that we can have essentials to make the home more comfortable. 10th house is more so about like my own reputation, what I'm known for. Like, I made an app, I'm known for making an app, I'm Mac Zuckerberg. I don't know, the guy who made Facebook. I don't know what his name is. I know there's a Zuckerberg. I think it's Jack or Zach Zuckerberg. I don't know. Anyway, he's known for being that guy who made Facebook. So that's his reputation. That's his 10th house. His career, his status. He climbed the ladder and look at where he's at now. You know what I'm saying? So with your Scorpio moon in the 10th house, see, now the moon hates both of these placements. Oh my god. Oh my god. The moon falls in the 10th house and it's away in Scorpio. So what makes, see, you probably, you may have, if you were not someone that was completely abandoned by your family, like you were literally alone, and you were like, you realized how alone you were and are in this world. So you were like, shit, I have to do something to make sure I'm fine. And it forced you to be someone that you were like all about your business and you were very organized. So you may have been someone that didn't really have a childhood because you were forced to grow up quickly, If you're not a refugee, if you weren't like completely abandoned by your family, if you had to run away from your family because they were completely they were just unstable, you just realize like you didn't really have a fun childhood, you grew up very rough. Oh my god, you grew up oh my god, child, you just grew up in a very rough neighborhood. And even if you didn't, I feel like you may have just experienced those intense oh my god, I was alone. I don't know. See, with Scorpio, I feel like there's always some kind of abuse, whether you witnessed it or whether you were the one receiving it. There's always some kind of thing like that. So you may have just grown up thinking, oh, I can't live like this. I have to fucking fend for myself and make sure I'm okay, because there's no way I'm living like this. There's no way I want to live like this, So this forced you to use your intensity, or just kind of use your that Scorpio willpower to climb on that ladder, and you it's a thing of you don't even feel whenever you enter a relationship, I feel like you're not even if you are around a Leo or Sagittarius, or not even Sagittarius, but a funny, always jokey type of person, you won't even like being around these people just because you can't connect with that. Unless, like I said, unless you have a Leo, right? A Leo sun sign, which changes a lot of things, your sun sign does change a lot of things, and so does your rising sign. But I feel like with this, if you have Scorpio in the 10th house, most likely you're an Aquarius rising, right? Now, for the most part, you have this kind of puts you in a Mars in the 10th house, right? Because Capricorn is exalted in Mars, and Scorpio is ruled by Mars, but it's more so Saturn. Actually, no, never mind that shit, right? So, but low key, it puts you in an exaltation place, right? Because Capricorn 10th house is exalted in the Mars energy, right? So this kind of gives an exaltation kind of vibe to it. So you always you have so much passion, and you have enough passion, or exceeding, overflowing amounts of passion to get yourself out of a situation. And people feel that from you, especially when you're working, or especially when it's dealing with your career and your business. You may be someone that you you may be like very power and controlling in whatever shit you work at. You may not like you may not like having an authoritative figure. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. You may not like having someone boss you around because you are someone that likes to boss other people around, And you could be a very, like, a harsh manager. You don't take no shit from anybody. Like, you want perfection and you demand it, and if you're not gonna get it, you like, bitch, the door. You're like, you're fucking fired. You're just very, like, nasty. People may not even like working around you because you also not only are you intimidating, but you're also very scary, and it's just like no one feels like they can work around you. And you may like that because you may feel like, haha, yay, I'm so dope and I'm so powerful, fucking suck my dick, Or it could also just be like, if you learn how to use this power really dope, you learn how to, like, kind of be your own entrepreneur and just kind of start your own thing. Because already, if you have this place where you're in Aquarius rising, which already puts you in the innovator kind of thing, And also, Aquarius risings don't like, I'm an Aquarius rising, I know this shit. You don't really like when people tell you what to do, because already in your head you already have a vision of what you want it to be like, and you feel like if people tell you how to do it, they're adding their own influence on it, and that influence isn't how you, like, created it in your mind to be. So that's what makes you, like, the stubborn thing. And already with Scorpio being so stubborn, you don't like when people tell you what to do, period. So it's gonna put you in a, like, what the fuck, don't tell me what the fuck to do, ew, that type of thing. But yeah, for the most part, this placement just makes you cold as fuck, bro. You're so about your business. Like, you are so about your business. It's like you have no time to play with people. Unless you have a Leo sun sign, or Aries sun sign, or Sagittarius sun sign, or Gemini sun sign, or Gemini sun sign, or maybe Pisces sun sign a little bit, or Aquarius, but not Aquarius sun sign. Not Aquarius. Yeah, that's that, guys. If you have your Scorpio moon in the 11th house, now this puts you in a state where you're like, 11th house is about your associates, right? People that you're associated with, your friends, not friends, but like your acquaintances, basically, people that you only see when you go party, or people you only see when you at the specific location, right? So having your Scorpio moon in the 11th house, see, now 11th house rules Aquarius, and Aquarius is an air sign. So this is what I feel like you also may have had, you may have had a lot of people that you grew up with in your life that you didn't really know, but they may have been there a lot more than, like, your actual family. So you felt a lot more connected to people that you were really, like, you felt more connected to strangers than you did your own family members, that type of thing. So, because that's the 11th house, it's really your associates and acquaintances, and, like, just associates, basically. And with Scorpio here, right, so you may have had, you need to watch out, because I feel like with these acquaintances may be people that steal from you under your eye. You may have grown up with thieves like that. Or you may be this person where you just befriend people because you know that they can get you somewhere in life. And, like, you can milk them out of whatever that you want them to give you, So, yeah, with that, you may have, like, yes, like I said, you may be someone that may be, like, very conniving, manipulative to the people that you deem as your acquaintances, and then you may, like, be like, no, we're friends, tell me everything about you, and watch me use everything you told me about you against you and make you fucking, I don't know, fucking steal your bank account or something, something like that, but for the most part, I feel like this also makes you very unique. You may, like, appreciate unique people, but those people usually come with an intensity, because you, like, I feel like with this, you may, as a Scorpio moon person, you may attract a lot of Aquariuses with this, people that are, like, very weird and freaky, and you may even like having sex with strangers. That's the thing. You may be the type of person that you go out partying, you fuck people, and you like fucking people that you don't know. And like I said, you may trust people that you don't know a lot quicker than you trust people that you do know a lot better, you know? Or it could also be very uncomfortable with being out in the public like that, because it's like, well, I'm exposing so much of myself, like that's not cool, that type of thing. Yeah, that's that. And then if you have your lastly before I go, lastly, if you have your Scorpio moon in the 12th house, most likely you are a Sagittarius rising. Now, I have a friend who has a Scorpio moon in the 12th house, right? So I feel like this makes you even more hidden, right? But it also makes you a lot more intuitive, because, see, the 12th house is the house of sleeping and dreaming and the subconscious. Like the dream state. I don't know if that's the subconscious or the unconscious. I think it's the unconscious. I think subconscious is more so the 8th house. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Comment down below. Tell me what you think. I think 12th house is the unconscious, and then 8th house is the subconscious. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, anyway, with your Scorpio moon being in the 12th house, right? Being in the house of Pisces, which is the kind of elusive, time doesn't exist kind of thing, you know? I feel like this puts you in a... Oh, sorry, let me close my windows. Because I know these mosquitoes are going to chew my ass for real. Yeah. Yeah. So if you have your Scorpio moon in the 12th house, you're probably someone that, like, it's so easy. I feel like this definitely does put you in a I only trust my friends type of thing. Because once again, it does depend on your sun sign. You know, because my friend has a Taurus sun and a Scorpio moon. So his sun sign is in the 6th house, and then his moon's in the 12th house. First of all, I want to say, I feel like this does totally make you unfaithful as a person, especially if you're a lot younger. You're just not a faithful person. You probably have had relationships, and that one relationship you thought would be forever, and then you broke up, and then you're just so like, oh, hell no. Nope, not doing this again, because it put you through like so many emotional turmoils already, because it's like a triple emphasis, because the moon is a watery state, and then the Scorpio, which is also a water sign, and then it's in the 12th house, which is also very watery, which is because it was Pisces. So it may have, that breakup or that one heartbreak may have sent you in emotional turmoil, and you were like, there's no fucking way I'm going through that again, ever. So you become unfaithful, you know? But for the most part, because you kind of psychologically know the conscious and the unconscious and the subconscious of people and their need for relationships, and like what they're hiding, like, oh, because you know, sometimes people in relationships change, or people only get into relationships for like because they're lonely, or I don't know, they saw whoever and they were like, yo, that's nice, Sabuel, or you know, Sabuel means like I'm craving for that. So you may have thought, oh wow, that's really nice. You know, people just have different reasons for being in relationships. So you as a Scorpio moon, I feel like you can pick up on those reasons, and you can pick up on the unconscious and subconscious reasons as to why people want that, you know. And on one negative side, you also may be someone that likes love, but you know how to somewhat keep that, like, that one part of yourself very private and only for you. You know, that type of thing. Yeah, and I just feel like whenever you're around people, you're just like always picking up on like, see, already water signs know how to pick up on, they know how to pick up the vibes in the room. But as a Scorpio moon sign person in the 12th house, like, it's somewhat, you can't control. See, because the 12th house is like, you have no fucking control whatsoever what the fuck goes on, you know. It's like, it's literally the ocean itself, and it's like the wave itself pulling you, you know. So I feel like also in relationships, you may feel that, and it can be very extreme for you, because it's like, whoa, I can barely deal with my own shit. Now I have to deal with yours. Oh, I'm gonna lash out, you know.